Superman. Got a lot of pictures. Superman. I'm Superman. Back then, maybe. No. Anyway, so yeah, ever since they started shooting the outside scenes, we've seen
tons and tons
of costume, and
it's so weird because you can't. Some of it, I'm like, is this real or is this like misdirection by the production team, like by Gunn himself? Because some of it looks really fucking bad. This is like, you know, they haven't done any editing to it.
Yeah,
it's just like fucking shitty drone footage.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm like, man, that guy's costume doesn't look good. That person's costume baggy. Doesn't look good,
and I don't know why. It's like, I like the costume. I like the colors. I think everything pops. Like Lois Lane looks like she came right out of the comics.
And I mean, most of them do. They keep that in the movie. I hope they don't.
Oh yeah,
degrade
it or whatever. Yeah. No, like they won't.
Snyder would.
They won't do Snyder.
I hope they keep that amped up.
They will.
It's interesting, like the other characters that they're introducing, like Mr. Terrific, and it looks like there's a Hawk woman in there.
Yeah. And Green Lantern, played by Nathan Fillion.
Yep, which is interesting because he was also in the Suicide Squad, but
not the same universe anymore, or whatever the hell.
Dude, don't confuse me with that bullshit. Let's just call it the same. And so it's interesting. Yeah, I think he's playing Guy Gardner, right? Yeah,
and he's got the Beatles haircut.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wig, obviously, but yeah. I mean, you know, ever since, I don't know how long ago it was, but you know, anytime you see footage or like a picture, it doesn't usually do the final product any justice. Like you're gonna have people like touch up the shit, and
just like when you actually are filming it and you watch something on playback.
Yeah.
Even that looks bad compared to when it's edited.
Oh yeah,
and when it's punched up,
cut in scenes.
And so I'm going to be open minded about it. Yeah. I've got a lot of faith in Gunn.
Yeah,
I think so. He's not.
It's very colorful. I'm digging that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm and the good thing for me as a fan is I don't like Superman, and so
you got no skin in the game.
I already don't really have a lot of expectations for it.
But huge Hawk Girl fan.
Hot girl?
Hawk girl.
Hawk girl.
Hawk girl. Hawk 2.
No.
Hawk 2.
We just let that die.
She's getting a movie deal. No, I don't know. No, she's not. She's getting a lot more attention than I think whatever. Side topic.
Yeah, so I'm not a Superman fan. So I'm interested, which is good. I'm not overly excited. My hopes are not up. Right?
Sure.
Because I don't really have any big expectations. I can tell you right now, it's going to be better than Man of Steel. It's going to be better than Superman Returns, because those movies sucked. So.
I think you think Man of Steel is better than Returns, though.
Only because he actually fights in Steel.
Yeah,
Superman Returns, he doesn't do jack shit.
It's just funny, the fan base.
Punch in the eyeball,
right?
And that's it.
The fan base is funny because it's like, obviously Returns, he didn't like do hardly anything, but lift a rock, and then they give you the action, but it's too dark. And now I think a lot of people have said maybe they haven't really criticized the colors much, but you know, it's always people bitching. He does kind of look like it's not like I don't know how to say it, like the underwear, right? It's not.
It's like when I used to wear the zip up onesie pajamas as a kid. Is exactly what it looks like.
Yeah.
But again, we haven't seen the final product.
Right. No. Yeah. All those creases and folds. I mean, I don't know why they designed it that way. But I'm guessing, the final product, you're not going to see that shit.
Yeah.
I think it looks great. It just looks a little baggy, you know, and it kind of looks like he's wearing Depends or something.
He's always had
he's got a big butt.
He's always had red underwear.
Just makes him look like he's got a big butt.
Yeah.
Like, I shouldn't say anything, but you know, I'm definitely digging the red back. I know it doesn't make sense, but I think we're at a point where I think we've done enough realism with comic book properties that I think it's time just to embrace their look, and that's just the world. It's just, you know what I mean?
Which that's what I'm most excited for with the new Deadpool movie, Deadpool and Wolverine, is they're embracing the absurdity of all of that. Yeah. And that's awesome.
Sure. I cannot wait for the mask. Yep.
20 years ago, they would have been Wolverine in a blue and yellow costume would look stupid. We're not ever going to do that. He's in black leather because that looks good on screen. It's realistic. Dude, he looks so good in the blue and yellow.
Oh, I think so too.
So
They were just not, the average audience wasn't ready for that then, you know. And I think ever since Avengers, for sure, Avengers, people are like, "Fuck yeah, give us the colors," and
Yeah.
I think we're all on board with that. And I could be wrong, but did the Matrix kind of set that tone for everyone to, or at least the look, you know, the leather outfits and shit, like
So,
probably more.
what
of
year
an
did The
opinion.
Matrix come out?
98, 99, 99.
So
I think,
it was probably
99.
The Matrix and Blade together.
Right.
Because Blade was a comic book property,
true.
and he was in black leather. Now, that was actually true to the character. That's
Right.
kind of what he looked
Well, the
like.
original character was like, wasn't he like purple, bright purple outfit?
Well, yeah, but that's because you're going to use purple on a comic book page versus black because it just makes more sense.
Oh, right. It doesn't pop.
So, yeah, he was purple, but
Yep.
it's supposed to be black,
Yeah.
would be my take on it.
Sure.
And so I think he kind of like set that tone in terms of comic book properties.
Sure.
Where they're like, oh, Blade was a success. He wore all black. The X-Men are going to wear all black.
Yeah.
Or some bullshit. And
Right.
The Matrix, success. Black trench coats are in.
Yeah.
Whatever. So.
Well, I remember when they did First Class, which I want to refer to the actor playing Mr. I forgot his name again. We talked about it for the Superman photos, Mr. Terrific.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Terrific.
Is that right? Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
So that actor was in X-Men First Class.
Who did he play in First Class?
He adapted. What was his fucking name? Remember Kevin Bacon's like adapt to this, and he like feeds him that like energy ball, and like I forgot what his fucking name was. But anyway, I'm so happy that guy has got another, probably even a bigger part years later.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, I don't know how big of a role he's going to have in it, but
right. But the character itself is kind of popular, isn't it? Or
he's tertiary
okay
at best.
Sure.
Right. I mean,
right.
When I think of like popular DC characters,
Sure.
obviously the big three come to mind.
Yeah.
And then you've got your Aquaman, who's now popular.
Yeah.
Really, any Justice League person.
Sure.
And then you got Justice Society, which is I like better, but they're more obscure characters.
Right.
Like if I was to sell you, Dr. Midnight, you'd have no idea who the fuck I'm talking about. Or Wildcat.
I dug Pierce Brosnan in fuck, what movie was that?
Oh, Dr. Fate. He was in Black Adam. Yeah.
He was great.
Yeah. So I love those obscure characters.
Sure.
That's kind of like my tea. So
what annoyed me with Hawkman, I didn't mind the actor or anything like that. I thought he did a decent job. I think he looked great. I hate the fucking nanotechnology. I'm done with that shit.
I didn't like it with. I mean, I didn't even care for it with Iron Man.
Right. I didn't either.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's
too fairy tale-ish.
Stupid shortcut.
Yeah.
It's lazy storytelling.
Yeah.
It's a shortcut from a costuming perspective.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, how's he going to get all this on? Oh, it's nanobots.
Yeah, I mean, Pierce Brosnan's carrying around a helmet. Like, dude, just carry your fucking helmet around.
Yeah.
Like, why can't we do this? That's stupid.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah. But, Superman looks great. I think it looks great. I think it'll be fine. I was going to say real quick about X-Men First Class. We're talking about costumes. So I remember when X-Men First Class came out, it was refreshing to see them. They had like blue outfits and X's. Or I can't.
Yeah,
it was colorful. It was very colorful.
Yeah.
So when Bryan Singer came back to do X-Men Days of Future Past, I remember an article at the time, he brought back the costume designer from his X-Men films. And he's like, oh, don't worry, they'll be colorful. They were not colorful.
No.
I mean, Wolverine had like this blue on his arm, but it was very dark, and it just...
They should have stopped at First Class.
You think so?
I think so. Days of Future Past was okay.
I liked it just because it gave you a final finale you deserved from Singer's X-Men, at the end.
All right, so I'll rephrase this. They should have stopped at Days of Future Past.
Okay.
Yeah. But they also should have let Matthew Vaughn do Days of Future Past and not brought Singer back.
Right.
I don't think Singer was a really good fit for that franchise.
I mean, I think he definitely helped catapult it into popularity more, especially him doing that realistic Holocaust scene at the big, like that was something.
That's a great scene.
Oh shit! And X2 was great. I liked X2.
X2 is a fantastic movie, but I don't think it's necessarily from a director perspective.
Sure,
you could have put anybody in that. It doesn't stand out to me as a Bryan Singer film.
Sure,
like
You're talking about Days of Future Past?
No,
Or,
X2.
Oh, X2.
Yeah,
Okay.
even
yeah,
Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
So, but,
Gotcha. Sure. Yeah. A lot of great imagery from the X-Men movies after that, I think. You got that Weapon X look with the helmet and shit Wolverine had. But yeah, man, just sluggish, you could say.